Hi and welcome to this solo playthrough of Red Rising. I have set everything up for a solo game and I will take you through what I did and how we are going to play. So first of all I took a few cards out. So the first few times that you play solo you're supposed to, or advised to take these out. So we have the Psychologist, we have EO, we have Rogue, we have the Loan Shark, and we have the Auctioneer. So these are out of the game, and you can add them back in through variants, but we will not be doing that today. Then we have set up the priority that the AI will use in doing its actions, and for that we have A, C, D, and B here. So we've added those to the player board, and the first priority will always be A, then going to B, C, and D. And then we've also connected Luna to Jupiter, so if something happens on Luna, we will also take a Jupiter action. So that's the solo setup on this board. We also have the solo or the automa player here and my player. So I will be playing red and the automa will be yellow. And we've added, if you play a two-player game, you also add 3 cubes of a different color to the Institute to represent some additional people playing against you. So we have the board set up here, and then after you set up the AI on the board, the automa, you do the normal regular setup, so 2 cards on every element. So on Jupiter, Mars, Luna and Institute we have all of the cards here, and we have the resources here. Then there's a card here that says odd, because we have the most number of odd numbers on this board, and that will help us later when deciding some things with the automa. Then we have the deck, the automa here, shuffled of course, and we took 4 cards aside, which will be here. We will be adding these as we use them to this pile, and once we're through we will be shuffling again and restarting that. The automa also starts with 2 cards in their hand. They're collecting them, so they don't use them for anything except collecting them. They have their cubes, and I have the little explanation here just to help move things along. Then I have my own cards, so when you start the game you draw 5 cards, so I have those here. I have an administrator, I have Tactus, I have a garden trained rose, I have holiday, and I have dancer. So those are the cards that I start with the game with. Then I have my cubes, so I'll be playing red, and I will be playing House Mars. So I have that here, which means that every time I gain the sovereign token, which is this one, I will also gain 1 helium. So that's here. Then I have the cards here just to help me with all the symbology and everything, and the dice for when that is needed. So when we start the game, we start with the automa, and he will draw 2 cards and do both of them. So we will draw 2 cards. I just like to place them like this, so I know I start here and then I do this one. And the first one is going to be this one. So we will start with a deploy action. That's the pink one. So he will deploy to Mars. So we can see the symbol here. So we deploy, the automa always deploys from the deck. So we deploy from our hand, obviously. We want cards to play on the different parts. but the automa always deploys from the deck because they have no hand. So we draw one from the deck, which is the jackal, and we play him on Mars, or deploy him on Mars, just like that. Then the next thing we do is gain, which is the green action. So we gain from a location, and we gain that character card. And again, the automa doesn't have a hand, so he will just gain it to its pile to add to the total. So he gains from A, which means he will gain this CEO, and we put it there. Then he also has an additional action, which is a star, and that means that they gain the bonus from the character's location. So in this case, he went to Jupiter because he grabbed this character, and the action that you gain from that is advance once on the fleet track. So we will be doing that, and that is then the bonus action that the AI gets. So that's card 1 done, and then card 2 is the same story but with a different card. So again, we deploy to C, so again to Mars in this case. So we grab from the deck, and this is Colonel Valentin. So we put him here, and we add him to Mars. Then we gain from D. So we go to D, and we gain bridge. And he will gain that to the pile again. And there are no extras in this case, so then this is done. And we will put those here. So then the automa turn is done, and we will get to play now. So every turn you can choose to either lead or scout. So that's pretty easy. You choose one or the other. If you lead, you deploy a card from your hand face up on a location and triggering its deploy ability if it has any. So the deploy ability is here. So let's just see, this is the deploy symbol, this one. And if there's text next to it, it means it has a deploy ability. So you deploy, and then you trigger its deploy ability. And then you do one of the following. You gain the top card from another location. So if I play on Jupiter, I can do one of these 3. If I do the Institute, those 3, etc. And then you gain that location's bonus. So if I take a card from Jupiter, I do I advance on the fleet track. If I do Mars, I gain a helium. If I do Luna, I get the sovereign token. If I do the Institute, I get 1 influence in the Institute. Or if I do not want to do that, I do not want to gain a card from any of these locations, I can gain the top card of the deck. Then a random card. And then I roll the dice, which has all the locations, and I gain that, and I trigger that bonus. If I roll this, I get the influence on the Institute. If I roll this, I get the sovereign token, etc. There's also some extra symbols here. So if I roll this one, I draw the top card from the deck and I place it in any location. I do not deploy it, so I do not get to trigger its ability. I just get to place it. And if I do this one, I get to banish the top card of any location. So you have a few more options, but you do not know what you will get, so it's a bit more random. So that's lead. Deploy a card and either gain the card from another location and trigger the location, or I get to draw the top card and then do the dice action. Then there's also Scout, and you will usually only do that if you're happy with your hand, if you do not want to change anything. So that will be revealing the top card of the deck and place it to any location. Again, you place it so you do not deploy, so you do not get the bonus deploy action. You just place it and then you gain the location's bonus. So that's, you know, a little bit smaller action, but if you're really satisfied with your hand for now, you can choose to do that. At the end of the game, you score points based on what you have after triggering the game's end. So the game ends when 3 conditions are met, or, you know, by us together, so 2 from the automa, 1 from me, or the other way around, or if any one of us meets 2 conditions. And the conditions are having 7 plus helium, so the resource, having 7 plus influence in the institute, or going to 7 plus on the fleet track. When that happens, it triggers the game end, and then we will count up our points and game scoring. And end game scoring will happen mostly with our cards in our hand, and it's the things on the bottom of the card. So in this case, Dancer says that he is worth 11 if he isn't with grays, and he's worth 11 if he is with no golds. So he wants to be with coppers and yellows and pinks, but he doesn't want to be with grays or golds. But if you have this garden trained rose, she gains us 14 points if she is with a silver. And Tactus even has 20 points, but he needs to be with Octavia, Darrow, or a pink. So they all give points based on certain criteria, and of course their base points as well. You can see them here. Oh, here. So they all give points based on what you have in your hand, but you have to kind of think about how you build your hand, because you might want Dancer, but he wants no grays, but this Garden Trained Rose does want a gray, so do you want to keep both of those in your hand, or do you not, etc. So you want to like combine things in the best way. And that's it. If you have more than 7 cards, every card after that will lose you 10 VPs, no matter what. So if I have 5 now, say I collect 3 more, you know, they help me with endgame scoring, so that might be good. But to represent the idea that it's hard to lead or manage such a big crew, you also lose 10 points for every extra beyond 7. So they will not be worth that much anymore. And that is it, I think, for now. So let's just play. My turn. We did the Automa's turn and now it's my turn. So what do I want to do? I want to start with a lead action, a deploy. And I can see, you know, I have to look at what do all of these have. Do I want to do any of these? So if I do this, she's pretty nice. She says, well, let's remove my finger from there. Move the card directly under this one to the top of another location. If it's a silver, gain 1 helium. So that would be nice, because that gains me helium. And that sounds good. But do I want to do it? Because the only silver is here, so that would mean I would have to deploy to Jupiter. I can do the administrator, which I would ideally play in the institute. Now move an orange or blue from any location to directly under this card. You may gain that card. If you do, end your turn, which means I do not gain the top card of another location and I do not gain the bonus. And Dancer says gain 1 helium. If you have 2 or more other reds, reveal them and gain 2 more helium. You know, so that's obviously more ideal if you actually have those reds. So I think I do want to do the Garden Trained Rose. So I will be putting her here. And that means I get to do this action, move the card directly under this one to the top of another location. If it's a silver, gain 1 helium. So I will move this silver. And I will move him here. And that means I gain 1 helium. So we gain 1. 1 out of 7. So that's the lead action. I have done the deploy and triggering the deploy ability. And now I get to gain the top card of another location or gain the top card of the deck. What do I want to do? Which one do I want to gain? So I removed the Garden Trained Rose, so there's no need for me to have a silver. Octavia Darrow or a pink, so that's not going to happen. So what will we do? For now, I think we will take this banker, gain that one, and then we gain that location's bonus, which in case of the Institute is having 1 influence here. And then our turn is over. So we go back to the automa. 1, 2. So we deploy to Luna. There's Lauren. And then we gain from B. So they gain Aja. And then gain bonus from character's location, so the Institute in this case, so they gain influence here. It's card 1. Card 2 is deploy to A, which we'll do. And then gain from Luna. So there goes Lauren. And they banish a card from the deck. So this one gets banished. And then we discard these. So back to me. What do we want to do now? Do we want to lead? It makes the most sense. I think we're going with the administrator, which means we, if deployed on the Institute, reveal the top 2 cards of the deck and place them under this card in any order. So we'll do that. Then we will remove the top 2. So we have Scyther and we have Pax. Oh, Pax! And we, so there we go. So what do we want to do? So I kind of want to get packs. With an obsidian or mustang. Yeah, I kind of want packs. So we'll just do this, and hopefully that will give us an opportunity to maybe gain him. So there we go. So that's one. We've done the lead action. And now we will do gain the top card or the card from the deck. So I think we will take Bondulus here, gain him, which means we go up the track. Yeah, locations bonus, we did that. Okay, so we will do that. I'm happy with that. Okay, going to the automa again. First card deploy to B, which is the Institute. Diana. Okay. And then we also gain from the Institute. We do not get to do that. As you might have inferred, you always gain from another location, so not the one you deploy to. But the automa gets to ignore these rules. So they gain this one now. And they gain the bonus from that location, which is the Institute, so they get that one. Then we have deploy to the Institute, again, Artificer. And then we have a, so they will gain the Garden Trained Rose. Yes, and they will also gain bonus, so they will move up. So then it's our turn. Banish one non-gold from this location. So Holiday here wants orange and blue on locations. So I shouldn't be banishing oranges and blues if I decide to keep him. For now we have 2 oranges, so there's not a huge amount. I kind of want to get rid of Dancer, so I can just get rid of him, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. So we will play Dancer. And I play him to Jupiter because there's no one else there, so gaining from other locations will be more beneficial in my choices. So I gain 1 helium. There we go. And then I get to choose where I want to gain. And where do I want to gain? So I will take a Valentine, and that means I get a helium token. And then I have 3, which means I can use the deploy action from the banker next turn. Oh, I needed to discard these. Okay, so back to the AI. There we go. Deploy on B. Where's B? There. Arias. Okay. Deploy, yeah, okay, and then gain from the institute. So there you go there. Then we have deploy to C. There's our first green. And we have gain from B. So that's not good for me because I want oranges and blues on the board. But okay, so they gain B. And they banish a card from the deck. So there we go. And then we discard these. So now it's my turn. And what I wanted to do is play the banker so I can gain any card from the location. So I might want to like build me a little gold army. But he wants gold on locations, not in my hands. So that's maybe not great. But we can look at these cards. So Jackal doesn't want to be with Darrow or Tavia, which I don't have. And does get me points if I have the Sovereign token. Then we have a pink. Oh, she wants to be with a Jackal. You see, that's interesting. So I have the cards here for a good combo. He wants to be with an Obsidian or Mustang. I haven't seen Mustang yet. But it's a possibility. I don't want to remove the orange because I want that one on the board. So what do I want to do? I think I do want to get the Jackal. Get myself a little gold army. Or maybe Cassius. What does he do? Oh, he gains a lot of points if he is with Mustang and Darrow. But that's like a big ask. So we will not be doing that. Okay. So I will deploy a card and it will be the banker. And I can pay 3 helium to gain any card from this location. There we go. That gets us the Jackal. And then banish the banker. And then we get to gain, because it doesn't say that we end our turn, so we don't. So what do we want to do? Well, I kind of don't want to... I want to gain Antonia. So we gain Antonia. So this is how you get more than 5 cards. So usually you kind of trade, deploy and then gain. But sometimes you gain more and you deploy. So I have Antonia, and then that means I get the Sovereign token. And getting the Sovereign token means I gain 1 helium. So that's a pretty good turn, I think, all in all. Okay, let's see. Then we have the AI. Okay, so deploy to Luna. then gain from Jupiter. So there goes the answer. And gain the bonus from Jupiter, which is this one. Then deploy to B. Well, the Institute is pretty popular. Gain from Jupiter, which is empty, and then we wrap around. So the arrow goes to the left. There's nothing to the left, so we wrap around. So as you can see, there's an arrow, this arrow here. So we go to the left, which will mean we end up at the Institute. So we gain this copper. And then we also gain the bonus from the location, which is the influence at the Institute. And then discard these. So right now, where do we want to go? So we will get rid of him, put him on Jupiter, and we get to move any gold under him. So we will move Fox and add him here. And I do not want to gain that card, so I will not do that. Then I will gain the top card of the deck, I think. So that gives me a developer, which is a green. And I will throw the dice, which means I get to banish the top card of a location. So what do I want to banish? So I don't want to banish the administrator because I want that orange to stay there. I can, however, banish the green and hope I can get Calliope. But there is a chance that then Automa will grab her before I do. So that's not great. So what are we going to do? And we also want to deny the AI good points. So we will remove Dr. Verony, I think. Yes. Banish that one. Okay. Automa. Deploy to Mars. Ooh, Bone Riders. Gain from D. Where's D? There. It's empty. So we go here, gain the Bone Riders, and then gain that bonus. Then we go deploy to A. And then gain from A. And then banish card from the deck. There we go. Okay. So what we are going to do is place developer, which says you may gain any other card from this location if you do end your turn. So we will gain our friendly Calliope. Put these back in order. And then we have these two together. So that's good. We will keep those together. Oh, these need to be discarded. And then that ends my turn. So we go back to this. So deploy to A. Gain from C, her sea moss and gain a helium. Deploy to B. Now there's Helga. Gain from Luna, which is empty, and then we go to the right. So we will gain Helga and put that there. Okay. And we will deploy to Mars. Then we get, oh, a non-gold. No, so I wanted to banish Cassius because he's worth so many points and I don't want to give them to the automa. But it's a non-gold, so that doesn't work. So that doesn't work. She gains points if she's with the jackal, so that's good. We can play Tactus, I think. Or we do this one, because there's really no oranges and blues at this moment. Let's do that. What do we play? We play... We play... Luna. And move under this card. You may gain that card if you do end your turn. I don't want to do that. So then I gain, and I want to gain this one. Ah, there's Darrow. So I want to get rid of Darrow because he will lose me a lot of points on the jackal. But that's okay. We will do this first. So banish a card. Which one do we want to banish? We will banish this administrator. Okay. Deploy to the Institute. There. Gain from C. And then also thus get a helium. Deploy to D. Gain from the Institute. And then also put an influence there. So it's already at 5 of the 7. So we need to pick up the pace. Okay, we wanted to get rid of Darrow. We'll put him here. And we will, maybe we want that pink with a white. We don't have any whites yet. But why not? We will gain her. And we will banish Darrow. And then we will gain the top card from Mars. does receive a healing. There we go. Yes, deploy to D. Then a gain from C, which is empty, so it goes to Luna. Then deploy to C. And then gain from Mars. And gain a healing. And now this is empty, so we shuffle. And then you take 4, remove them, and then you're good. Okay. So what do we want to do? We kind of want to remove Cassius because we're not going to get his thing. So we can deploy him to Mars. And then we take gain orange influence